Sup guys, I know I haven't made a video for quite a while. I've been extremely busy with schoolwork, with upcoming exams, and simply to put it, I've been also very demotivated to make any type of video recently. But I wanted to address some issues that I've witnessed on RuneScape, both EOC and 07. Mainly the conflict between the two communities. There's nothing on the screen really, so you can do whatever you want while listening to this. It'll be me mostly rambling on about my opinions on things. But yeah, let's get on with it. First of all, what I want to say, from what I've seen throughout my gameplay, both sides are being equally bad as each other. 07 servers, mainly what they do is, that I find disturbing, is they flame and hate every EOC video regardless of their content, and they flame anyone who says that they like EOC or anyone that says that they didn't vote. EOC players, the main thing I find disturbing about their attitude is the way that they're ignorant and basically group every 07 player with this face of a flamer and a hater. And another thing is that I really hate is some EOC players actually looking down at 07 players as if they're better than them because they're playing the main game, as you call it. What some of the disruptive 07 players could do is just to respect other people's opinions. Like, for example, if someone says that they like EOC or that they didn't vote, there's no need in any way to flame them or hate on them, because it's just their decision or opinion. You could give constructive feedback and reasoning, but don't just outright flame them. It just makes you look bad, and it makes the 07 community look bad. At the start, I didn't want to vote for the 07 servers, and the reason being is because of the community. I could see. I always said to myself that in 07 servers, the downfall of the servers will be because of the corrupt community. I'm not saying that everyone is bad, but there's a lot more corruption than it was previously. Years back. The further you go back, the less the corruption, the less no honor there was. Take for example. Pre-eoc, there was literally a ridiculous amount of PJs, rushers, lurers, looters, and they were actually, the worst part of it for me was they were actually acceptable by the community, by the PKing community. People didn't care about them. People, if anything, some of them supported them, which was, it never used to happen. But even lurers, I could see. I remember watching YouTube videos of lurers, and it had a huge amount of likes, and I had no idea why. Luring is wrong, but I agree that the person getting lured is stupid enough, but it doesn't make it right in any way. Anyways, yeah, and the multi-PKing community fell apart because of ridiculous no honor, crashing wars and etc. and DDoSing. That's why PKing became so dead pre-EOC. The way to prevent this is for everyone to just get together and just stop it. Just don't do it, even if you enjoy it. It's degrading the community. People don't want to play. Like, if I go into the world, the reason I stopped PKing personally is because of the ridiculous amount of raggers, haters, is prodding, it was just, I didn't find it fun anymore, especially like when I got killed and I got tons of PMs and messages saying, you know, making hateful comments when I always say good fight in a good manner. And it's just basically just don't do no one acts. Just no matter what, just don't do it, because you're basically killing the community that you love. You know, why do it? You're just ruining the game for yourself, basically. And it's, if everyone does it, it is going to ruin the community and it's going to kill the game. And that is how RuneScape's 07 servers has the potential to die out. One of the most enjoyable things for me in EOC is probably solo next. I love it. I really enjoy it. It's so much fun. They really did a great job for updating next accordingly to EOC. But everything else I find ridiculously boring or tedious. For example, PvP, it takes anyone that is familiar with abilities and hotbars probably an hour to become, you know, 95% efficient, you know, 95+% efficient. Like, I've played WoW, Guild Wars, Diablo, you name it. I've played a ridiculous amount of MMOs, and I've had a lot of experience, and I was against DFC because RuneScape was unique, and EOC is the most simplistic version of the hotbar abilities kind of game. It is kind of like WoW. Like, people have the right to say WoWscape these days, not because of the graphics, it doesn't look like it, but the abilities and the whole hotbar and the cooldown and everything is very, very similar to WoW. Now hear me out, this is just an opinion, but hear my reasoning. Everyone should always support non-devaluating updates. And that by that what I mean is things that make the game easier. Should never support something like that, as it will just ruin the game. For mainly skillers, that is. The reason why people, especially skillers, are disliking the EOC game is because things are being constantly made easier. Like, you do woodcutting this month, for example, you do this month and you get like a astounding 30 mil XP woodcutting, right? And you know, next month they'll release an update that makes woodcutting what you did twice as easy and twice as fast. That's the devaluation of the woodcutting skill, and that person will feel like crap and would hate, you know, doesn't want to play on because, you know, whatever he does is going to become devalued in the future. That is not the case with those 7 servers, as it's not going to get any major updates, hopefully. So making a game easier is a big no. Should never, ever, ever be made easier in any way. The game cannot be allowed to be made easier. Things like socializing can be made easier. Like, I am all for making the tab reply implemented into the 07 servers. Another thing I'm seeing is a lot of support for God Wars, which is ridiculous because I thought it would be a huge negative, you know, a huge support against God Wars, but it seems quite equal, and that is very, very bad news, because if God Wars comes out, the PKing community especially would take a huge hit. God Wars was the first introduction of OP weapons, which will induce ragging, one-iteming, prodding, you name it. It took the skill out of hybriding, for example, and made it so hybriders relied on their weapons rather than skill to kill their opponent. Main example being Karasi Sword, the worst update in the world. Yeah, so just be against any updates like that, like the G will reduce the amount of communication within the community, which actually, I mean, first of all, you need to be nice to others to be able to trade with them, but eventually that forced pretend turns into friendship, because you realize, you get to actually communicate with each other. First of all, you're being nice because you want to do the trade, but then you get to know each other, if that by chance, if you continue to talk. So, I mean, if they add G, it will remove that and it will allow manipulating. It's just manipulating of the item prices and etc. Bad addition. Just, I personally don't want anything added to the game, except for stuff like, the tab isn't bad, the clan chat isn't bad, because that way, at the moment there's no clan chat, so clans are kind of separated because they can't communicate with each other. So clan chat wouldn't be bad because that's not affecting the gameplay at all. It's just encouraging more social activities, and the tab just makes replying easier. And for example, another thing is probably the PM text, make it bigger, but at the moment it goes off the screen. But yeah, that's about it for my opinions on the updates on 07. I played a lot of games and I recognize RuneScape for its uniqueness and skill required. I've done pretty much everything in the game for a considerable amount, EOC and pre-EOC, mainly pre-EOC, and mainly hybriding and Cast Wars. Hybriding and Cast Wars required a ridiculous amount of mouse accuracy. You need to be so fast and accurate with your mouse movement and clicks that it was considered a skill and something that you would need to practice on to become good at. And this is also this is mainly directed at people who think that it's all, pre-EOC was all luck based. Yes, a lot of it was luck based, but there was certain aspects of it that was extremely popular and it required a lot of skill. Like for example, hybrid and Cast Wars, you need to think a lot. Like you would have to, for example, predict what someone is doing, then think of the moves and decisions you can make to counter that move that your opponent can do. Especially in Cast Wars, you have to be completely observant of your whole surroundings. Just think of like 10 opponents and 10 friendly people all around you, and you have to be aware of everything your friendly players are doing through like a voice chat like Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, and you have to be watching everything your opponents are doing. It's so much to intake, and to be able to use those mouse skills efficiently while processing all that information and being able to do everything efficiently and correctly. I mean, to do a whole Cast Wars game, like even 50% correct decisions and moves is crazy, because there are so many decisions and there's only one optimum decision that you can make, and you have to be able to react and think quickly to do that. So this is just a point to make that pre-EOC wasn't all luck. Just putting it randomly out there in this video, but if anyone's played a new quest, World Wakes, it was probably the most amazing and revolutionary quest that JX has ever released. The lore was great, the story was great, it was a huge twist, there was epic boss fights. They weren't hard, but they were epic. There was bosses were involved that I wouldn't even expect. It was a great storyline, amazing, and the music was just breathtaking, and it was a step up for JX in my opinion. It was amazing. One of the pros I just want to point out is that JX couldn't 07 servers couldn't have gone better for JX. The amount of revenue that is coming in, mainly because of 3 large names on the internet that promoted it and made videos on it. probably a theme with over 600k viewers, he promoted and made a video about how people should go vote and how the gaming community should help with the voting. Another is Yogscast members, over 600k subscribers, made videos on it, a let's play on it, and Toby Gamers on Twitch with I forgot how many followers he had, but he streamed it as well, and he had 6k viewers at 4 AM GMT, which is really late, which is a plus. So yeah, the amount of promotion, in the gaming fashion, what is popular at the moment is not retro games, but old classic games which people played when they were kids. So the 07 servers coming back has literally exploded on the internet. Loads of people have been attracted, new players, old players. And some of the new players may even slip into EOC, some of the old players might slip into the EOC. It's just beneficial all round that JX are attracting so many players based on luck that these huge names advertise the game. On Twitch, for example, viewers never went above 400, but now it's at an average of 8k viewers on RuneScape. It's on the front page of Twitch, which I've never seen. Streaming has become huge on Twitch for RuneScape. Probably the best ways to get known now, if you're having trouble with YouTube getting views and you think you've got something that no one else has, Twitch is probably the best way to get yourself out there now. I mean, I personally would do it, but I've gotten to the point that I just really don't care, and I just make videos because I enjoy it. Actually, I've always been like that. Not saying that I'm not appreciative of all the views and subscribers. I love them to bits. That especially people who've followed me since the first day. I mean, I started ages ago. But yeah, I can go on and on about what some of the 07 players and some of the EOC players saying stuff about each other that is obviously wrong and obnoxious and very ignorant and hateful, blindly of course. And I mean, the one message I guess I could give out is that if you want this game to flourish and to be enjoyable for everyone, including yourself, respect each other. It's as simple as I can. Simple thing I can state really is respect each other. And if you want PKing to live, bring honor PKing back. Bring it back, even if others don't do it. Do it yourself. You'll have an impact. Everyone, even if you do it and no one else does it, every little thing has an impact. Every person has an impact on the game. So I'm going to be probably very so I'm going to eventually make 3 more videos, one on drops that I've got since the last drop video, which was years ago, a bank video to show what I've made, to prove that the rich don't get richer, as I was pretty much at 50 mil bank 3 months ago, because I spent all of it on PKing before EOC came, and another video on my last PK video, which it was the last because I heard EOC was coming out and I've been delaying it for 6 months now. I just been very lazy, to be honest. But yeah, thank you for watching though, guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble, and I hope to see your opinions in the comments. Have a nice day, guys.